Oh, I probably didn't turn the boots into ropes, so...
Is there like a hole right behind the door?
No, it's just a pit.
No,
That would be.
you're welcome to walk right in.
Oh shit.
That's a wall, not a ledge.
Yes, that is a wall.
Okay.
There is no ledge.
Yes. This door to your left is humming.
So all the rooms led here anyway.
And here comes Mr. Druid just flying over as a crow.
The way across is about 125 feet, you'd estimate. This is an entire pit. And your light sources, basically the dancing lights, because there isn't any light in this dungeon, whatever light source you have, can barely make out rusted spikes sticking out of the bottom of the floor of the pit. Maybe 30, 35 feet below you.
Tempus sort of stares down, looks around the room.
There are no hooks. You could attempt to climb the walls, but you think this would be a harder check to perform than it was to climb in the Scorching Sands room.
Tempus will slowly run a hand along the edge, just in case he sees like a sort of very black pathway that he can't notice.
Sure. Tempus runs his hand across the edge, and when he gets to that point, he hits something that's jutting out from here.
Well,
All right.
Thomas at this point has a copious amount of sand in his armor that can surely be used to just throw it out there and see where it lands.
Sure, that sand will be sufficient enough to mark this location that Thomas is looking at.
All right. Tempus will start. He'll apply more and more weight to this.
It feels as sturdy as the stone floor you're currently on.
All right. Tempus sort of looks over at Leon. Says, "Leon, you stand there. Thomas, you stand over here."
So,
All right.
so you're going to have to. Anyone who walks out here will have to make a dexterity skill check just for like balancing purposes, though. This is a very small walkway.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thomas, I need you just to hold my hand just as I'm walking out here. Don't pull me. Don't lead me. Just if I need to, just grab and I'll just pull me back. All right.
All right.
Leon, just if something bad happens, just join in and try to get me back. All right.
Nods.
Okay. Tempus stretches his arms out left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Walks out.
Yep. Go ahead and make a dexterity-based skill check for me.
Can I get my survivor on this balance?
Sure. That is sufficient.
Okay, Tempus will actually be shuffling his feet along the path, sort of dipping the front of his toes just to see where the path ends as he's sort of balancing, walking forward.
I think that 21 is good enough. That would allow him to think that the bridge continues to this square, which I will not mark as you're just noticing this with your foot.
Okay. Tempus will just keep going. He'll follow the foot. Just keep going with the foot and his arms outstretched.
Okay. The bridge, Tempus thinks, goes to this square here.
Okay, Tempus keeps on going.
And then he thinks there's another square here. And then I'm going to need another skill check from you. That same skill
Same
check.
one?
Mm-hmm. Okay. It is difficult to do this with your feet sort of dangling out here. But you are able to notice that the bridge turns.
Tempus just sort of, he reaches forward, he knows his feet, whoa, and he pivots to the right as he feels his foot, just sort of there. And he starts dangling himself forward. And he goes, okay.
Do you have anything to mark the path? Something coin-sized, perhaps? Like coins?
Tempus pauses for a moment.
Fargus says, you could go back and grab dust. Or sand, rather.
We could. And it's a good point, Fargus. Thank you.
Tempus sort of just stands He's like sort of keeping his balance carefully.
Yes.
And I'm actually just going to point where he's looking. Okay?
Okay, that's fine with me.
Thomas will go grab an iron pot full of sand.
Yes, you can make it so that you're not grabbing the hottest reaches, and you'll be able to go ahead and basically say you throw like the pot out so like it dumps outward, and you can drag the bridge out to there.
Tempus is covered in sand.
Yes.
You know, we'll clean that off. I'll clean that out of your gears later.
Yes.
Okay.
Tempus thinks the next part is there.
Okay, Tempus, he takes his arms in a little bit so they're in front of him equally, and just sort of turns them so he's pouring the sand off of his arms.
Okay.
So where the pathway is, and then slowly returns his arms to his sides.
Okay. We'll say that sand is dripping off of you. Then he'll draw the bridge to there.
Tempest starts shuffling forwards. And he's actually taking small steps this time, so he's not kicking off as much of the sand by shuffling.
Sure. It'll draw the bridge to there. And with this method, I'm going to require another dexterity-based skill check. Okay. The bridge turns again and goes for 2 more spaces that way.
And again, he's just taking it very slowly.
By this point, so much of the sand has trailed off that you are no longer covered effectively to keep marking.
Alright. Okay.
And you would feel that the next bridge spot is right there.
Tempest he slowly just sort of reaches in, wonders if he's got any sort of cutlery easily to hand. I guess takes out 2 forks, and 1 in each hand, holds them out, and then just walks forward.
Okay.
So he's holding them out just as out on each side, keeping himself balanced with 1 in each hand.
Alright.
So shuffle and...
Shouldn't be doing
Okay.
that, Dark. That's cheating. You have nothing to mark a map with effectively here. You would actually need to mark it accordingly on this section. Okay. That takes you out to there. And will then take you here, where I will require another dexterity-based skill check for you as you're still feeling around with your feet to determine where the bridge continues.
Could just crawl, maybe. That might be safer.
It was an idea I had, actually, just while he's straddling it, literally just sort of split his feet and just sort of try and like gently land down on it so he's straddling the path.
Sure, you could certainly hug the path in this case. I would definitely allow you a +2 bonus.
Okay, so that's what Tempest will do. He's realizing this is starting to get a bit... he needs his hands. So he'll put the cutlery away, I guess. He'll just drop it into pockets nearby on either side.
Okay.
And get himself ready. He'll split his legs to drop down and hands down into the core just before he lands in an attempt to shock absorb himself.
Okay.
And then try and hug it with his feet.
Okay. That will not be good enough. You'll get to this point, and I'm gonna need you to make a normal save for me. Just roll a 1d20. Okay. That will be good enough. Tempus loses his grip on the slick bridge, actually rotates so that you can see him like clinging to the bottom of what you think is the bridge. His feet dangling above the pit. I will now allow you a strength-based skill check to basically vault yourself back up to the top of the bridge.
Do I get a level on this?
Yeah, it's your level. It's the same skill check you're making, only it's your strength modifier instead of your dexterity modifier. Okay, that's good enough. And that will even take you further along to here.
Okay, so Tempest is now straddling it. He's not standing any longer. I guess so he starts shuffling himself along.
Yes, and it is difficult to say, looking behind you, where
Tempest.
exactly you might have been.
Tempus, can you wait out there?
Tempus sort of looks over his shoulder. One leg strapped over here. He's facing this way.
Yeah. Okay.
He just sort of looks back. He keeps his legs tight to get an idea and goes, "Well, I can wait out here. I mean, if you throw me bags of sand or something, I can get an idea or mark what's behind me. But I don't know where the turn is. It's somewhere over there. I can barely see where the path is."
Because would it be reasonable, since I have chalk, to like just draw basically a line where the path is?
Sure, you could do that.
This is going to be fun. Time to put my balance work in.
I recommend straddling.
So, what sort of balancing precariously over 35-foot pits do you have for backgrounds?
Once again, I'm going to say, as a survivor scout, sometimes you get very precarious terrain, such as trying to balance across a log, for example, that's over like a river, because, well, you don't really feel like going to a very fast river when there's something following you. You might get pulled away by the river or in by the predator. Your choice.
All right, I'll allow that.
This is going to be fun.
That will be enough. And you're not so worried because you can actually see the turns. You can actually make it to the last marked position, which would be here. And I will require that same skill check from you. Since you knew the turn was coming up anyway, that can take you straight to where Tempus is.
Natural 20. I'll mark the path behind you.
Okay. Tempus will start shuffling along, keeping his hands on the top of the path, feeling the path and how it's slick surface.
Courtesy of Leon's 20, I'll go ahead and prevent you from having to make a skill check. You two are able to mark out to here.
Tempus, there, that way. There you go. Stop.
Whoa.
And I will require a dexterity-based skill check, the same one that you've been making, Tempus, to keep going forward from here. That'll be good enough. The bridge does turn, and it will take you over to there.
Okay, this way. Whoa, shit! Tempus takes a very, very precarious sort of lean over there, slide a bit of the rock.
I just had to like push you back.
Why did my heart really vault out of my chest there?
Don't know. I'll require another one from you at this point, Gryph.
Oh.
Okay. That will that'll take you a bit further to this point as the bridge curves, or rather turns twice. I know, such great rolls. And we'll get one more there. And now I will require another roll with that 20. Okay, that's good enough to realize there's no safe spot to stand. And yes, that's definitely good enough, a 28. There is no safe spot to stand anywhere around you.
Okay, Tempus looks around. He's looking for a while. But he stopped moving. He's actually been quiet the entire time he's been looking. Tempus sort of reaches in his pocket, pulls out the cutlery that he has, and probably it's a fair handful of cutlery, but probably not enough for what he's thinking of doing, but he starts doing it. He looks immediately in front of him.
Okay.
And throws one of the pieces of cutlery.
Okay, to that spot? Yeah, that'll be good enough. Hit something.
Sort of Tempest looks in his head to sort of gets an idea of where the sound was. I get think he hears something ding over here. I guess he saw the cutlery maybe?
Sure, it lands right there.
It lands?
Yes, it lands on that.
Tempest will throw something over here. This general direction he'll try.
Okay, it goes sailing into the pit.
And he tries over here.
Goes sailing into the pit.
He tries throwing a bit closer, like with one. He tries to throw about halfway between the two.
Lands there.
And he does one more, like the final piece of cutlery he has. He throws it like about there.
Falls into the pit.
Leon, gonna need you to back up for this one.
And takes out his bag of marbles. So not sure.
Tempus shuffles back one. Vaults himself up, so he's using his hands and he pushes his feet up onto the pathway itself
Okay.
and lifts himself up to a standing position. Leon, if I mess up, try and tidy up my body remains, alright?
I'll try.
And Tempus runs and jumps.
Okay, give me a strength-based skill check. This will be a vaulting type of thing. Do you have, like, a vaulting background?
I would say Survivor. That's the closest I've got for that would be Survivor.
Yeah, vault over obstacles. I can go with that. And I have an unexpected error. Sheep, you broke my map.
I'm not doing anything.
I rolled a 16.
Yeah, certainly seen a 16.
Go ahead and make a normal saving throw. That's not good enough.
11.
Okay. My map is definitely broken. Okay, what I'm gonna do is stop my video. I'm going to attempt to save.